Today I'd like to tell you about some of the things that we recently added to Wildfires Near Me, the Wildfires Near Me web app. And so today is Thursday, June 23rd, 2016, and I've got a few things to show you. So the first thing that we added to Wildfires Near Me is a search bar that allows you to search for fires. And so the search bar is pretty simple, but basically you start by typing in a keyword or a fire name. You may have heard about a fire somewhere on the news or elsewhere that's outside your vicinity. And so sometimes you want to maybe just check a fire or take a look at a fire, or maybe even choose to follow a fire that is outside your search radius. So basically you type in the keyword and then some suggestions appear below. The suggestions are formatted with the fire name followed by the state abbreviation. So it should be pretty easy to find any particular fire that you might be looking for. So when you click on a fire from that search bar, it pans and zooms the map to that fire's location, and then it also opens the incident information panel. And so from that incident information panel, we can also talk about some changes that we made there. One of the first things you'll notice near the top here is that we've added in the fire status. So these status categories come from the icons on the map. So you can click map layers to see what those statuses are, but basically new, emerging, contained, controlled, and active. We do not display out, although you will see fire status of out if the fire is out. And so a quick way to tell what you're looking at: sometimes you might get a notification or you have an old notification. We don't expire notifications, and so if I scroll way back in time and I go to an old fire, you'll notice that this fire is out. And so even though I still have a notification or an alert about that fire is actually out. And so it's a quick way to tell the status of that fire. We don't expire notifications or alerts because we think it's useful. Sometimes you want to go back in time and look at a final report for a fire, or how large was that bandit fire? Well, apparently not very large. But anyway, so the fire status is at the top. The other thing that we have added to the incident info panel is I guess not added, but we actually removed something. We removed the drop downs. And so in the past, there was a set of 3 drop down arrows that you would click to view the different pieces of information about a fire. And so we replaced those with tabs. We use tabs in other places throughout the application: Wildfires Near Me tab, the My Places tab. And so we thought it's a little bit cleaner and it works better on mobile, frankly. And so we still have the same categories: general info, incident info, and comments. But you just interact with it a bit differently, and hopefully we should see some better performance on mobile devices. The other area that we tweaked a bit is the My Locations tab. And so from My Places, My Locations. In the past, if you had more than 9 locations in your list and you were on a mobile device, the 10th and above were cut off. And so there was no ability to kind of scroll. There were no pages that you could page through. And so we fixed that by simply just adding scrolling to that particular page. And so in this example video, you can just see on my iPhone here, I've got 12 places in my list, and you can easily scroll down to the bottom of them and still access the add and edit buttons. So it makes things cleaner for mobile. You won't really notice much of a difference on the desktop. You can, depending on your screen size, you can expand that window pretty large, and so you probably won't have to scroll, but if you do, the scrolling is built in now. And then the final thing that we added is a solution for folks who are still having geolocation problems. We're still getting some reports from folks that are being mismapped, and so the location might be kind of close but not quite there. And to be quite honest, the problems that we're experiencing now are beyond our control as developers. And so the problems stem from a number of different areas, ranging from your internet service provider to the type of device that you have, etc. and so forth. We put together a help topic explaining some of those issues. And so you can access that if you go to Map Layers, the question mark icon, and then if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, coincidentally we're scrolling past all of the write-up on all the data layers that we have in the application. But here, if you click here to visit frequently asked questions, it's more like a frequently asked question page because there's only one. And this talks a lot about the problems that can happen with actually locating you on the map. So if you're interested, feel free to peruse that at your leisure. So back to the point, sometimes the geolocation service gets your location wrong, and so what we've added is the ability to specify a default location, or what I just call a home location. And so doing so will override the geolocation service, and so you'll no longer be prompted as to whether you'd like to share your location with our app if you have a default location set. And so that makes it pretty convenient for folks who are still having those problems. It may also make it convenient for folks that don't want to be mapped or don't feel like sharing their location, over the World Wide Web. But it's pretty easy to set, and so you just go to your profile. So you click on your username in the upper right here, and then go to Profile. And then the first page that loads is the alert preferences, and the third box down is the default location place name. And so much like the My Locations search, this works with a street address. It also works with a city and a state combination. And so you can pretty easily just start typing a place and choose it from the drop down that appears, suggesting some results. After you choose from the pick list, so to speak, you have to physically press the update button. So without pressing that update button, your preference will not be saved. And so if I press update, now I see that New York is set, it's locked in as my default location. And so if I navigate back to the main menu or the home perspective, now we see that I'm in New York City. And there's actually a fire outside New York City. Very cool. Fire is everywhere. So that's pretty simple, I guess, for the home location. And so feel free to set that up if you want to give it a try. It's working pretty well. Just a couple tidbits in closing. The first one is in regards to the search bar, and this is something I forgot to mention earlier, but the search bar is right now only working on desktop computers, and so we're working on enabling that for mobile and trying to find a convenient place to put it. But for now, you have to use Wildfires Near Me from a desktop browser. The other thing has to do with the default location. Setting a default location does not indicate that you are monitoring that location, and so you will not receive any notifications for your default location. You still have to choose that or add that to your My Locations list. And so I do not have New York City added to my Locations list, and so therefore I will not receive notifications about fires outside of New York City. So just a little bit there. But I think that's all we have for today, for now. I hope everybody enjoys all the new features we added. We're always looking to grow Wildfires Near Me and add functionality, and we do so by listening to your feedback. So if you have ideas or you have things that you think would be cool to add or helpful to you as a user, please use that feedback button up here beside your username and send us a quick note and say, hey, I'd like to see XYZ in Wildfires Near Me. We'd love to hear from you. So hopefully everyone stays safe. Fire season is definitely picking up throughout the country, And you can see pretty quickly from looking at the large map here that there are quite a few fires going on out there. So please stay safe and stay in touch through Wildfires Near Me. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.